death, the destroyer of worlds.
Or should I say, I am become Godot, the destroyer of games. Because Godot absolutely wrecked my game. So, it's now month 5 of the 1 game per month challenge, and Godot has done it once again. It corrupted the files with this message. And I can't fix the missing dependencies. But first, let's talk about the game. I wanted to learn more about the physics in Godot 4, so I made a physics type game, a hill climb racer clone, just like anyone would. I figured out that this would be the best way to learn about the physics in the game engine, so this time I didn't watch a whole tutorial series and make a clone out of that game. But I just got the useful components from the tutorial and added it to my game. I started out by making the wheels of the car and made them spin. I went on to making the body of the car. I drew one in GIMP and added it to the game. I used some assets from the tutorial because I liked them a lot and they looked really cool. This month I finally learned how to program after all these months of not really knowing what the heck I'm doing in Godot code. It felt amazing. I could now add more features to the game and I could finally understand GG script after all this time. If you want me to make a video on how I learned how to program in Godot in case you are having trouble, tell me in the comments. I'll be happy to make that video. So after making the wheel spin, I moved on to the camera and offsetted it just a bit to make the front part of the game a little more visible. I joined the body to the wheels and boom, we got the car. Now that the car works, time to make it sound cool with some engine noises. Luckily, the tutorial already had these engine sounds. Moving on to adding the player, everybody knows what separates great physics games from good physics games is ragdolls. So making a ragdoll shouldn't be that hard, right? It's just adding a bunch of body parts and joints to it. So I made one and this happened. Well, looks like Godot physics doesn't like it when I make ragdolls, so let's just cut it out of the game. I added a rigid body as the head of the player and wrote some code which triggers instant death when you hit your head, just like real life. To make the car even better, I added these nitrous particles behind the car using Godot's particle system, but if you want to do a burnout, then something weird happens to the wheel, so I advise you don't do it before starting a level. Moving on to level design, one of the hardest parts of making a game, because good game plus bad levels equals disappointment. So I started designing the levels of the game. I made level transitions. I had this great idea of making some special types of levels inspired by Need for Speed Pro Street's wheelie drag races. In these races, you have to pop a wheelie until you reach the finish line. I made the space key lift the front end of the car so you can pop a wheelie and look cool. But when I tried making the level mechanic, the collision shape stops registering collisions for some reason. So I scrapped the idea and went on to making more levels with moving platforms and moving box hazards. I made a level selection screen which isn't the best, but hey, you have to finish the game sometime, right? I made 4 levels and was done for the day. At this time, I was 5 days into the production of the game. The next day, I opened the project. I was met with the undeniable message from the Grim Reaper of Godot: missing dependencies. If you get this message, it is checkmate. You have no other moves left but to resign your game to Godot. You can't say no to it because it doesn't care who you are or who your game is. It will end your game's career. This is not the first time this happened to me. If this has ever happened to you, please tell me a way to fix this. If one of the 10 to 15 people who consistently watch these videos is a Godot developer, then you guys need to fix this right away. Because I've searched countless tutorials on how to fix this, but none of them work. But all in all, I don't blame Godot. I actually blame myself, because I didn't back up the game anywhere on my laptop. And I'm here to tell you guys that if you have a project in Godot, especially if it's a big one, just like any important thing on your laptop, back it up on a flash drive in a separate file on your computer, even on the cloud if you can, because anything can happen to your computer. I sound like some kind of cybersecurity advisor, but you can be hacked or your files can be corrupted and you lose countless hours of work, all because you didn't make a backup of your game. This could completely shatter your morale for making games, because once your Godot scenes have missing dependencies, then you can't make any changes to the scene because it doesn't allow you to open them in the editor. But in this case with my game, luckily it reached a stage where the game is playable, but it either crashes when you finish a level or when you click the next level button, it doesn't work at all. But if you return to the level selection screen, then you can choose your level of choice. If you want to play the game, I uploaded it to each godot.io. The link to it will be in the description. It would mean a lot if you checked it out really. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Remember to like and hit the subscribe button so this video reaches more developers who might be in danger of the Godot Grim Reaper missing dependencies. And if this has already happened to you, then well, don't you dare go hollow. Goodbye, friend.